Well, I will try this again. This is about the fifth time trying to get this one out. My name is Ben. Thanks for clicking on the video. Thanks for showing up for yourself each and every day. If it doesn't resonate, don't make it fit. So, very first thing in the morning, what was coming through very strong is things we do out of fear. And when I went into my word of the day, our actual word was safety. And then the supporting engine number card went into a new perspective. So, when we really think of it, what is it that we do throughout our experience that uh, we're holding ourselves back to an extent? And I use these three words together. I don't know if it's already termed, but it is control, safety, and then fear. We control things to feel safe out of fear. Now, granted, we can make anything up in our mind to validate our emotions. So we can talk ourselves out and say, no, I just do this because of this, or, however you want to term it. But when we start to see the new perspective, we can actually see it for what it is. And it's really coming into taking responsibility for our actions and our behaviors. A lot of us, including myself, we all do this. We like to blame the external. And granted, it is so at times, but we need to take responsibility to empower ourselves to move forward. And then we got into what was coming through just very basically. Sure, we can talk about relationships and we'll get into that, but uh, work in general, just from like basic observation over the years, and I see it through a lot of other people when they start talking about it. How, let's say there's like a really good employee and they strive, they work hard, they accomplish what they're supposed to and more, and they're just a really good employee, and they don't get any reassurance or raises. It's just I'm putting all this in, and they might even get like ridiculed for certain things, even though they're going above and beyond. And then we have the other type of employee that is, how to say it, pathetic. They are not a good employee. They screw up a lot. They maybe are late all the time. They're not doing even the bare minimum, and they are kind of paraded, put on the shoulders and carried through the workplace. And we kind of wonder why. And then we could dive into the psychology aspect and wonder, is the good employee, did they carry a wound, a childhood wound, in that they were never praised or congratulated on their accomplishments, and they brought it into the workplace, and they're still seeking this praise? Or maybe they're non-confrontational and they're just hoping that their effort is enough to receive some sort of reward. What is this reward? Is it just basic? Is it acknowledgement? Can it even be acknowledged? And when we look at it that way, and if it's actually like a wound, I mean, we'll just talk about this wound because clearly it's heightened here. It is, no matter what takes place in the external, we'll never be satisfied to the extent, because we're seeking the external to validate something that needs to be validated inside. And when we're doing this, obviously this will bleed into every aspect of our life, friends, romantic relationships. And uh, you're never going to receive that because it needs to be generated internally. Just going back to this whole fear and safety, is it overperforming because we actually want to, or is it overperforming in a way to feel safe when we receive this reassurance, this validation that, hey, you're doing a good job. Okay, I can feel good about myself now because someone else said it. Why can't we just feel good about ourselves knowing, where is this knowing going to be enough? And we could look at the very poor employee. Where do they find their entitlement, or their laziness? Where is this generated? I just do the bare minimum and I'm carried. Maybe that is the victim mentality. Uh, I don't know if I said it in this one. Like I said, I tried to film this several times, but victim mentality, uh, this will trigger, and it's supposed to. Yes, people do things in the external and they are horrible, no matter small or large, and they all affect us. But when we stay there in the victimhood, we are giving our power away. We are allowing the circumstances to dictate our future, to control our choices and our circumstances. And like I said, uh, if you are in that place, this is supposed to trigger you. You are supposed to get what? Normally frustrated, angry, disgusted. And during that stage, what takes place? What takes place? Otherwise, we are in complacency. We are sitting there content, allowing the circumstances to control us, to hurt us, to navigate our life for us. Instead, during frustration, anger, things come from that. Movement, action comes from that. And during that stage, you're going to do something. You're going to get fed up. You're going to say, I deserve better. I need to be respected. And during that empowering stage, what are you going to do? You're going to respect yourself. And when you start to present yourself that way, then others will see the line and not cross it. Otherwise, we are complacent. We are allowing people to treat us certain ways. Going back to the workplace and even in relationships, what can we get away with until we push them too far that they respond? The more that they dump on your plate and you allow it to take place and you accomplish it, they're like, oh, okay, well, let's try a little more. Let's push you a little farther. And, excuse me, during this point, they are testing the waters. And if you're not respecting yourself, the advantage, I mean, they continue to take advantage of you. This is no different than in a romantic relationship. Normally, it would start out in the beginning. Maybe we're just being, awfully giving and, what's the word? Accommodating during that stage because we have feelings for the individual. And then we grow those feelings, and then you get into the relationship a bit farther, and then you want to start having respect for yourself, or you start saying, no, that's wrong, I don't agree with that, or I deserve more. Well, they've already seen how far they can push you, and we're going to test it a little bit farther. We're going to push more. And you have feelings now, so, well, what is it? It's your problem, or you're thinking wrong, but I'm connected emotionally now, so I don't want to lose that. All these things are at gamble. No different than that breadcrumbing. If we go back to that wound of the employee of seeking something, and these little breadcrumbs are enough because we have nothing. So that little bit means something more than what we had naturally beforehand. Same thing in the family unit. Obviously, they would have known you from the beginning up. They know your wounds, they know your weaknesses, and if they were taking advantage of it, they're going to push it to the limit. Use guilt or anger, frustration. This all goes back to a confrontation. This hierarchy of respect and not respecting yourself if that's something you carried. I guess we're just really focusing on that type of a wound on this message, which it all connects. So all these things that we can go back to control, fear, and safety. And we can also focus on suppressing things. What happens if we actually said something? What would take place? There would be repercussions. What would take place? Well, that's scary. I don't know what's going to happen if I say something. If I actually respected myself, if I stood up for myself, what would take place? Is that person going to yell at me? Are they going to fire me? Are they going to break up with me? Well, maybe they weren't the person or the employer for us if they're not going to respect the respect that you're giving yourself in that place. When we actually present ourselves that way, like I said, I'm sure that's very scary if we never empowered ourselves that way. There will be losses, of course, but we have to come to a place to understand that I'm going to respect myself now, or I'm going to empower myself now. And if these people aren't going to respect that or respect me the way I'm going to respect myself, then they don't belong in my experience. They don't deserve my energy, my time, my space, my energy in general. And that's going to be a very pulling time. We're going to be pulled back to the old way, or they'll use that like, you've changed, you're not like you used to be. The energy supply that I flourished off of, and it'll pull on your heartstrings at times. But we have to look at, what did you choose? Did you choose you or complacency? And it's not so much in a selfish way. It is seeing it for what it is and being like, you know what? Uh, I'm done with this. And it's that frustration that I've done this for so long. I'm gonna do me for once. I'm gonna pick me for once. And again, this will be different no matter if it's in the workplace, platonic, romantic, or family unit. And you're going to have to be okay with losing people. You're going to see the truth then. And then that's going to hurt a bit to see what things are really like. And then you're going to reflect back and look at all these experiences that may have hurt you and saw, wow, they really were a shitty person, or they didn't care. And that's going to be a trying time. And during that period, you're going to have to reflect a lot and heal a lot, which is going to kind of make you feel a bit less empowered. But during that stage, you'll remember what you're seeking, what you're moving towards, and then you'll be presenting yourself a different way. And then you'll see everything reflect back to you as the mirror normally does. I don't think I'm going to pull any cards on this. I just rambled on about that, and we'll leave it there. I wish you all the best. If this resonated, feel free to like, comment, share, or subscribe, and I will talk to you all later.